What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's podcast, where he gives an update on the his appearance on Stuttering Craig's podcast that's supposed to take place next week. Now, of course, our boy's not giving us much detail. I think now he's actually hoping that more people do not watch this podcast because he knows that it's going to be a utter doo-doo show. And you guys know exactly what I mean. But he gave an update. Let's hear what he has to say. By the way, hope you guys love the new WWE champions on my phone right here. Alright, let's go.
Update is as follows. It has been 1 week since I officially announced that I will be appearing on the Side Scrollers podcast this month. And I told you guys my appearance would be around the middle of the month. Well, we're almost to the middle of the month. Okay? So, I will officially announce that I will be appearing on the Side Scrollers podcast next week, but I'm not going to tell you the day yet.
You're so hilarious, Phil. We all know that they're going to make an announcement on Monday, and we know you're not going to do it on Monday. You're not going to do it on Wednesday, so you'll probably do it either Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. And I'm guessing you'll probably do it on Friday, just to give yourself some additional time so that you can prep and be able to try to sound convincing and, give the appropriate answer, which we all know is just not going to work out for you.
I'm not going to tell you the day yet. All right? If you don't know, just check it out. It's called Side Scrollers. All right? Side Scrollers is the channel, or Side Scrollers podcast. Now that I say this, I feel stupid because now I don't even know.
You should feel stupid. You've been talking to these same people for several weeks now, and you don't even know what the name of their show is. That just shows your disregard or disrespect for these people who are actually giving you an opportunity to come on their show and maybe have you shed a positive light on yourself. But of course, you're too lazy to actually know what their podcast is actually called.
Hold on. Pretty dumb that I don't know the name of it. Right? Okay, hold on. I'll tell you in a second. Okay, the name of the channel is Side Scrollers. That's it. Side Scrollers. It used to actually be Stuttering Craig's YouTube channel, but he changed it and rebranded it to just be Side Scrollers, alright? So if you find this on YouTube, this is the channel, the daily podcast they do Monday through Friday, and I'll be on one of those shows next week. What day? Well, here's the thing. I would love to announce what day I'm going to be on, but they're going to announce it on Monday's show. So rather than me spoil the announcement that likely should be on their show because it is their own show, I'll wait till for them to announce it on Monday. Then I'll talk about it here on Monday's Level 1 podcast. How does that sound? I hope that sounds good. Okay?
Thank you for shedding exactly no additional light or information on this announcement, Phil. Way to waste 2 minutes.
And yes, this will literally be an interview about everything. They're probably going to be asking me about every question under the sun. Literally everything. And I'm going to answer to the best of my ability. The thing is, for those of you who are regulars of this channel, you will not hear anything new. You just won't. There's nothing to reveal. You've heard it all from me, right from the horse's mouth, here on this channel. The thing is, the people out there don't hear those answers because the detractors just keep reiterating the nonsense and don't ever tell people my responses.
That is false. I have roughly 1,500 videos on my channel, and every single one of them, Phil, that I've clipped of you is directly your content. It's your information. I don't cut anything out. When I'm clipping you and making a video about something or a segment of your podcast or your show, I let you talk and I don't interrupt it. I don't clip anything out of it. I don't alter anything. So whatever explanation you want to provide for why you did something scummy or you did something terrible, people hear it. People hear it on my content. I don't alter it at all. So this this straw man that you're trying to put here, that no, your message doesn't get out there, is false. It's fake. The same tired, regurgitated answers that you gave to the quartering are the same answers that you've been given, and of course you change it from time to time because your story changes from time to time, but in general that's the same crap that you've been spewing, so it's nothing different. So everyone knows what's out there. The funny thing is that you change, you from time to time you alter your answer, or you change it, or you retcon it somehow, and it contradicts your statements. And the interesting thing is that that's what most people have been doing the last couple weeks. They've been giving Craig information on your many contradictions of specific statements you've made in the past, and how every time, or not every time, but when it comes up from time to time, you alter your statement, or you retcon it, or you change it, and the answers you provided don't fit with what occurred or your explanation previously. And that's what we've been providing Craig with lately. Saying, hey, you may want to ask him about this. This is what he said this time, and then a couple months later he contradicted his story and said something totally different that contradicted his previous statements. Have him explain that. So there you go.
Or they don't believe the responses, they don't want to hear it, so they act like I never said anything. So what ends up happening is you get people out there who only hear the negative shit. They don't hear my honest answers to all of it. Will I be pulling out my financial documents and opening up my phone's accounts and showing you a bunch of stuff? No, that's insane stupidity.
Okay, so we have it here. The interview, he's going to basically, when he's asked a tough question, he's going to either give a bullshit, non-specific answer, or claim that he can't talk about it for legal reasons, or that it's going to hurt his family. That's exactly what he's going to say. So WWE champions, the bank leaks, the way he wastes money, the way he wastes his money, the begging he may talk about, and I actually have a way to get around this, Phil, that will make sure your family is safe, make sure your information doesn't get out there, and make sure that we clear this up once and for all. So what Craig should do is, let's use the WWE champions, for example, being that I have it up here on my screen and I'm playing it so lovely, right? Let's say that Craig asked you, okay, you've been accused of wasting thousands and thousands of dollars in WWE champions, and your excuse in the past is you don't play WWE champions, or you don't play mobile games. And then that changed to you do play mobile games. And then that changed to you play mobile games but don't spend money. Then that changed to you play mobile games and spend a little bit of money. Then that changed to you play mobile games but you're not sure how much you spend. So you notice how the story changes from time to time. This is what Craig should say. And then Craig should say, what do you say about that? And then, of course, he's going to lie and say, I don't play WWE champions, or I've played it. I've never spent any money. I spent maybe a couple bucks here and there, but it's exaggerated, right? And then what Craig should say is, okay, are you willing to get off this podcast right now, right? Me and you, we'll step away for 5 minutes, right? And you show me your phone. You just show it up on the screen. We can do a Discord call, me and you, and then you can show me your screen. I won't dox you. I won't give out any information. You don't have to show it to anyone, and see if you have WWE champions on your phone. Are you willing to do that? And of course, Phil's going to say no. And right there, it shows positive proof that Phil is lying about the WWE champions. And if Craig doesn't want to continue push it, that's fine. At least he answered it, and he gave him the opportunity to prove once and for all whether he's lying or whether he's telling the truth. And if he refuses, then we know he's lying. If he says yes, then Craig can collaborate and come back and say, yep, I took a look, it's not on his phone. So he did his piece. Another example of what Phil can do is, Phil can say, okay, you've been, your detractors say that you've spent, you waste money. You beg and you beg and you waste money. You waste money on WWE champions, you waste money on DoorDash, and so on. And the bank leaks came out. We're not going to delve into the bank leaks because I don't approve of how the bank leaks were obtained. He can say that. And he can say, what do you say about that? And of course, Phil's going to say, oh, it's a lie. I don't waste the money. My money goes to bills. I barely have enough money to take my wife out for a meal once a week. That's what he's going to say. Then what Craig should say is, okay, I'm going to give you the opportunity to prove to me, and I will confirm with, I will confirm it and and I can be, I can tell everyone whether you're telling the truth or not. Let's take 5 minutes. Let's get off this podcast. We'll meet in the Discord real quick, and I want you to show me a bank statement. Just, you can block out your personal information. I just want to see the charges. And that way I can tell whether you are wasting money on WWE Champions, DoorDash, PayPal, Apple, iTunes, the whole thing. If you are, I'll be able to see it, and I can confirm that you are. If you're not, then I can confirm that you aren't wasting your money, and we can finally clear that up. For me personally, if he did that and he allowed Craig to look at a bank statement, and Craig honestly came back and said, I looked at the bank statement, I didn't see anything about WWE Champions or anything about PayPal or anything about DoorDash, 1 or 2 charges. If Craig said that, I'd be like, okay, then I guess he's not playing WWE Champions, and I'd get off that kick. I would, myself. I wouldn't talk about it anymore because he showed proof. But of course, he's not going to do that because he's going to say, because of legal reasons, my lawyer told me I can't do that. Or if I show you my bank statements, it's going to show medical stuff for my wife, or whatever the lie is, he's going to use that as an excuse. So Craig can then say, okay, I gave you the opportunity, you refused to do it, let's move on. And I would absolve Craig of any responsibility there, because he, one, asked a question, Phil refused to answer, and then he followed up with, hey, this is one way we can resolve it, and Phil said no. And in that instance, I'd have to absolve Craig and say, okay, Craig did everything possible to get the information, and Phil has said it, that he trusts Craig. And Craig has talked about how he wouldn't dox anyone, how he even said, if you want to talk to me, I would like to see your face so we can talk. I'm not going to dox you. I just want to talk to a real person. So that tells me he feels like he's honest enough of a person that he would never dox anyone he comes in contact with. So Phil, you should trust Craig and show him, just basically show him your bank statements and say, here's my bank statements for a given month. As you can see, there's no exorbitant charges for DoorDash. There's no exorbitant charges for WWE or PayPal. Here it is. And Craig can come back and say, look, I looked at it. It looks legit. It's fine. It's not an issue. And then Phil has a case to say, I proved it. And the detractor, the ones that don't want to believe it can say, they're lying. Because he did prove it. He proved it to he proved it to a third party, which would be Craig. And I don't think the detractors would have a leg to stand on anymore. He may have done it in the past, but if he shows a bank statement where he's not doing it, then, he can pretty much say, look, I'm not wasting my money on frivolous stuff. But he won't do it because we all know he does. He wastes money on junk. Almost 40% of his income, probably more based on the bank leaks, went to WWE Champions and just Total Wine and all that stuff. And Phil can't sit here and say he doesn't waste money.
That would just put me and my family at greater risk. It's going to be me answering matter-of-factly about as much as I can legally, as much as I can per legal counsel, because there's a lot of stuff that I've been advised over the years, don't talk about, don't give details, because if you do, it's just going to hurt you worse in the long run as these people continue to try to fish information from what you say on your streams and hurt you further. So I'm going to do as best I can. And I think that's all anyone could ever ask, right? And it's going to be, I feel it's not going to be fun. I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to be fun. Maybe for an outside viewer, for those guys on the show, it'll be fun because they're going to be able to basically get so much information about me all in one sitting. But for me, it ain't going to be fun because I've already done this before a million times on my stream. But at the very least, now there'll be one focal point. If you want to ever get all the answers to all the bullshit that's said about me on the internet, you can get it all in one place, one show, one podcast, all in a digestible 2-hour segment. Okay? They've even advised me, because here's the thing. As I told you guys, I have my own schedule, right? And I even said my plan was their podcast starts 9 a.m. Pacific time and runs till roughly 10:30, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay? My goal was I was going to be on their show, then immediately start my own show and have a normal day of streaming over here. But basically the way they're saying it is they don't know how long the show is going to run. I'm basically a special guest. They've never done anything like this before. You don't know where the conversation is going to lead. You don't know how many questions more questions are going to be or whatever. It could be the most fascinating interview ever. So it may run long. So all I'm going to say is on that day that I'm going to appear on their show, which you don't know yet, because I didn't announce it yet, they're going to announce it on Monday. I'm going to be on their show, and when their show ends and I'm done and we're good there, then I will come over here, we'll start up a stream, and it'll basically be a decompression stream where we can all sit here and just talk about what just happened. And, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your feedback on it, you know, and if we have time to do something like gameplay or whatever that day, then great. But if we don't, then we don't, right? And that's fine. It all depends on how that show goes and how long that, you know, everything goes. We'll see. All right. So
Phil's the only man that wakes up at 10 o'clock every morning and needs to have a podcast where he decompresses from being on an interview, from being on another podcast doing an interview. He's the only man that needs to actually decompress and spend 3 hours decompressing and, of course, begging for tips.
There you go, right? Exactly. It's like a decompression, debriefing. Because sadly, here's the thing, and I said this before and I'll say it again. I said it a week ago. It's sad that anyone else who goes on a podcast can be a regular guest and have fun and join in, because that's a variety show podcast. They cover gaming news, world news, hot topics, pop culture. They cover the gamut of everything. They even do little segments of game shows and stuff. It's fun. I can't be that, though. I can't do that because I'm Dark Side Phil, and there's so many people who hate me on the internet that if I go on a show, I have to have a 2-hour interrogation session instead. I can't just be a guest who has fun. I don't blame them for that, by the way. I want to make this abundantly clear. I don't blame the host of the Side Scroller show for wanting to do it this way, because there is so much bullshit about me on the internet. It makes more sense to address the bullshit first before you can get back to normalcy, right? And I don't do interviews. I did one interview in the last decade, and that was with the quartering, and everyone hated on that one too, you know? So it's like, it is what it is. We're going to do this next week, okay? And it should be here, let me put it this way. For me, I feel like I'm going to be stressed, but once it's done, hopefully at the end of the show, it'll feel relieving as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it'll be a big weight off my shoulders that at least I had a chance to defend myself, give my take on everything, and at least to the best of my ability, explain things, and go from there. But again, don't expect anything new. If you're a frequenter of this channel, you know my answers already. You've heard them. You know what I'm saying? This is not me, oh my god, insane, breaking news you've never heard, going to rock the world. And it's not like that. You know, it's just going to be me consolidating my answers into one place so you get a better picture of it all. Okay?
If Craig does a good job, he can he can expose you, Phil. He can. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to regurgitate your same answers that you've regurgitated in the past. And hopefully Craig has enough journalistic credibility to follow up and actually provide examples. And if you come back and just say, oh, no, that's bullshit, or that's incorrect, or that's falsified information or whatever, without providing any proof, I hope that Craig will pounce on that and actually ask you to provide proof of your statements. And if you don't provide proof, then you lay yourself bare in front of everyone to show that you're just dodging a question or don't want to answer it. So that's what I'm hoping for. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see. Like I said, I don't think Craig really has much to gain from this. I do not see Phil ever coming back on that show ever again. They're going to do the one interview, and that is it. They will ghost our boy Phil, and he will just be stuck in his little condo, you know, over in Washington, and just live out his life like the hermit he is and continue producing positive content. Alright folks, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.